Let's dive into one of the most intensely captivating moments between Taehyung and Jungkook. Have you ever heard the theory that Taekook are never truly far apart? When Taehyung and Jungkook are together, it's almost as if they can't help but close the gap between them no matter what. There's something magnetic about their connection, something undeniable. And there's one moment in particular that stands out to me as the defining example of this chemistry. It's the moment when Taehyung approached Jungkook in the most hot and provocative way. Don't believe me? Just watch it again and you'll see what I mean. 3 years ago, during a BTS live broadcast, Taehyung and Jungkook sat next to each other in the most boyfriend-like manner you can imagine. It wasn't just about proximity. It was the intimacy, the unspoken language between them, and the way they shared a space that seemed to blur the lines between friends and something deeper, something more romantic. Their body language was so relaxed, yet it was filled with tension. In that moment, it wasn't just a casual glance. There was something electric in the air. The energy between them was undeniable. They were not just two ordinary friends. It was as if their relationship transcended friendship and entered into something much more profound. And perhaps most telling of all was the spark in their eyes, especially in Taehyung's gaze as he looked at Jungkook. It was loaded with meaning, something unspoken but deeply felt. Jungkook's expression, as he gazed back at Taehyung, was full of admiration, affection, and even a little bit of awe. They weren't just looking at each other, they were lost in each other. Then, there's the hug. Oh, that hug. It was so much more than a simple embrace. The way they held each other wasn't just about the physical contact. It was the emotional weight behind it. You could feel the romance, the comfort, and the quiet peace that came from being close to one another. Taehyung and Jungkook's hug wasn't awkward or forced. It was pure Taikook magic. It felt like a safe place, a moment frozen in time where nothing else mattered but their shared presence. It was a moment of emotional intensity wrapped up in physical warmth. The kind of hug that says more than words ever could. And let's not forget the time when Jimin hugged Jin from behind during a similar moment, trying to make it all romantic. Jin, ever the realist, quickly shut it down, saying, "No, don't make it romantic anymore." But when Taehyung and Jungkook shared their own hug from behind moment, there was no stopping it. It was effortless, natural, and when Jungkook embraced Taehyung from behind, Taehyung immediately calmed down, as though Jungkook's touch was the only thing he needed to feel at peace. There was something deeply reassuring about that hug, an unspoken understanding that only they shared. In Bon Voyage 3, there's another subtle yet revealing moment. When Taehyung enters the room, a tissue is placed next to Jungkook's bed. But here's the twist. The next morning, the tissue has been noticeably used. Now, none of the members had any colds or sniffles, so it's clear that the tissue wasn't used for a runny nose. And more interestingly, there were no tissues in the room before Taehyung arrived. So what exactly was the tissue used for? In that moment, Jungkook's playful yet meaningful behavior seemed to hint at something unspoken, something only the two of them knew. It's a small detail, but it speaks volumes about their connection. This is just one more example of how little distance exists between them, both emotionally and physically. Taehyung and Jungkook are undeniably relaxed around each other. They are completely comfortable, so much so that they seem to share a bond that's impossible to put into words. They are, quite literally, two halves of a whole. Looking back, 5 years ago, fans have been eagerly waiting for the next big Taekook moment, especially after BTS World dropped. It was a dry spell for fans of Taekook. But as always, when the moment arrived, it was explosive. Taekookers were gifted the iconic scene where Jungkook stood next to Taehyung. And let's just say it was a moment that felt charged with so much unspoken emotion. Taehyung couldn't help but smile. A knowing smile that only someone who deeply cares could give. And let's not forget the memorable performance by SF9's Taehyung, where he performed Jungkook's "Standing Next to You." If you know, you know. There's something undeniably powerful about the bond these two share, and it's never more apparent than when they're in the same frame together. Then there's the legendary song "Sweet Night," which Taehyung wrote and produced for the Itaewon Class OST. This track didn't just top the charts in Korea. It reached #1 on iTunes in 119 countries, making it the first song ever to achieve that feat. Sweet Night became a global sensation. And with its soothing, emotional tone, it's clear that Taehyung's voice and songwriting had struck a chord with millions of fans worldwide. The song's impact wasn't just about the numbers. It was the emotional depth that Taehyung poured into the project that made it such a success. Itaewon Class became an international hit, and Taehyung's participation in the OST undoubtedly brought more attention to the show, contributing to its global success. Taehyung's growth as a singer and songwriter has been undeniable. With Sweet Night, he showcased his ability to craft a song that was both deeply personal and universally relatable. His emotional delivery and lyrical depth helped the song soar, and it continues to resonate with fans across the world. His success with Sweet Night wasn't just a personal triumph. It also opened doors for more international recognition. Major international media outlets praised his work, cementing his place as one of the top K-pop artists in the world. But let's not forget about Jungkook. The Golden Magne has been making waves in his own right, with his songwriting and producing credits continuing to grow. Most recently, Jungkook's name was officially registered as both composer and lyricist for the song Never Let Go, adding yet another milestone to his already impressive list of accomplishments. With 23 songs under his belt on KOMCA, Korea Music Copyright Association, Jungkook's place in the world of music composition is firmly established. The Magne is no longer just the singer of BTS. He's a true musical force to be reckoned with. Speaking of accomplishments, let's not forget the huge success of Taehyung's Layover album. Every single track has sold over 100,000 copies in the US, and Taehyung's international recognition continues to grow. Along with Jungkook, Taehyung recently won major awards at the Secretary Awards, with Layover taking home International Album of the Year and Jungkook claiming Asian Artist of the Year and International Male Artist of the Year. The chemistry between these two continues to shine through not just in their music but also in their ability to capture the hearts of fans across the globe. And lastly, let's take a moment to acknowledge the little things that show just how in sync Taehyung and Jungkook are. From matching socks to the way they carry themselves around each other, it's clear that these two share a bond that goes beyond just friendship. Their connection is palpable, and it's something that fans around the world can't get enough of. Even the way they look at each other when they think no one's watching speaks volumes about their unspoken understanding and trust. In conclusion, the bond between Taehyung and Jungkook is undeniable. Whether it's through their music, their intimate moments, or the subtle touches that only true fans would notice, Taikook continues to captivate the world with their chemistry and connection. Every gesture, every glance, every song they create together only strengthens the belief that these two are more than just members of BTS. They are two halves of a whole. Their relationship is a testament to the power of deep connection, and it continues to be a source of joy and inspiration for fans all over the world. Taehyung and Jungkook's journey together is far from over, and we're all just here for the ride.